Right, hello. This is part 2 of bog filter sort out. So if you haven't watched part 1, I suggest you watch that first. That is, I filmed that yesterday, so that'll be high up on the list in order. So this is the carnage I've pulled out. So these are the, give you an idea, arrowheads. So they're obviously not a bad looking plant. I've got some in my other pond. They're a good sort of border plant for ponds or just in the shallows. But the problem is they are quite vigorous when they're good, because they're nutrient hogs. I mean, you can see the root system on these. Some really thick roots on them. But they'd come to a point where they're getting a bit windswept and a bit damaged. The stems are quite fragile, they snap quite easy. So that lot is destined for the compost. So I said I was going to replace with some elephant ears. So let's have a look. So from here, you can probably just see like a jumble of leaves. I've got several types of elephant ears in there, colocasia and alocasia. Before we have a closer look at that, I'll just show you an example of how well they grow in bog filters or in a wet environment with high nutrients. So I'll just quickly walk down to my other pond. This is my little shabumpkin pond. Still in shade at the moment. But this is a little bog filter I've got on there. So this is a standard Colocasia escalente. Quite decent sized leaves, several really big leaves on them. So they've done really well. They're probably the biggest leaves I've got at the moment. They're beating the Thai giant and some of the other bigger species like Jack's giant. Obviously I've got some smaller species in here as well. This is just burgundy stem, which is a fairly small leaf. But yeah, that's a good example of the growth rate you'll get, you know, with wet feet and high nutrients. Right, so let's go back and have a closer look at the koi pond bog filter. So yeah, that's all going to be composted. I have got this is my Alocasia sumo, which is enjoying some sunshine, and coincidentally, if I can get my shadow out the way, there's 2 good pups coming off that. I think I divided about 6 pups off that last year. Right, so step over. So this is a side-on view of the bog filter. So what have I put in here? Mainly Colocasia escalente, which is obviously quite a small one. These are ones I've still got them in the pots, which were floating on a little island in the pond, which I think the roots were getting hammered by the koi, were coming up underneath and chewing the roots off. So you know, they're still small as well. Like I said, I just literally sunk the pot into the gravel so they can suck up the nutrients from that. There is a Tropicana black there, which is looking a bit sickly because that's totally shaded out by the arrowheads, so that's not really seen any sun, so hopefully that'll pick up now. So yeah, this is a bigger Escalente I had in my, get my shadow out the way. That's in the conservatory, but that started to get spider mites, so it's a bit too dry in there. They don't like damp or good airflow, so that'll sort them out. So yeah, mainly Colocasia Escalente, the smaller green leaf ones you'll see. And we've got a Black Magic, which was in my other pond bog filter, but it was getting shaded out by the big elephant ears I just show you. So I put it in here and hopefully that'll start taking off a bit better. But incidentally, it's already got a little pup coming off that, so I'll divide that off at the end of the year. And I have got a really tiny Black Magic that side as well, which is touch and go. It doesn't look very healthy, but we'll see if it perk up. Right, so at the back here we've got a Alocasia Patora. So that's got like the mottled effect on the stems, and sort of a crinkled upright leaf. In the middle we've got a Alocasia Macariza, which is like the giant one. This is quite a small pup I took last year off the main plant. And then we've got another Patora that side as well. So they're literally in pots, as you can see, and they're just sort of sunk a couple of inches in to the gravel to get their feet wet. It's worth a note that Alocasia don't really need as much water as Colocasia. They prefer it a little bit more on the dry side. But yeah, just a little experiment. You know, we've really only got sort of a month and a half, 2 months if we're lucky of the growing season, so we'll see what sort of result we get from them. And this one, I didn't want to disturb the roots, so I've just took it out of the pot. So I've still got soil around the roots and half buried it in the gravel, so we'll see if that sort of capillary action sucks up the water and keeps the whole thing moist. You can put these back if you pile out the roots too much. You know, you pull the roots out and knock all that soil off and they'll go into shock and they won't do anything for a few weeks. So I thought I'd just leave it as is. So that's the bog filter as it is. The pond is still full of weed, but again, lots of little fry in there at the minute, so I don't want to take that out and pull out half the fry with it, so that'll stay like that for another few weeks. Right, let me just step down. So again, there's the view from the edge of the pond. Like I say, nothing overwhelming at the moment, but we'll see as the weeks go on and see how everything does. So obviously we'll keep you updated on that. And thanks for watching.